Good afternoon, everybody. Holy banana bread. We got ourselves another red day. And oh boy, yeah, it's definitely not a great day on the market. Pretty much everything is in the red except for oil. Um, this is kind of what we've been talking about. We've been talking about what is happening with oil. If oil goes up, we're almost guaranteed a red day, and that's exactly what we've seen today. A lot more, I'm going to call it escalation. We're still in that escalation stage of this war. It's not good. It's certainly not good on the stocks. It's certainly not good on our portfolios. And oh boy, yeah, it's now let's just look at the good side. The good side is the dip. I'm sure Rory today, I haven't seen Rory yet in chat, but I'm sure Rory's happy as can be because, $16 canoe today. So that's not too shabby. So let's jump into this market right away. It is a bloodbath. And here's our TSX way down here. In fact, the blue line's almost off the screen. That's how, if I want to pull it up so that we can get a look at it, the blue line is off the screen, but I'm just leaving it so we can just see that tip of the blue line. That blue line, guys, that's where we entered the month. So if we're below that blue line, we're in a red month. If we're above it, we're in a green month. We're well beneath it. So at this point, it would take a miracle, I think, to have a green month. Now, an interesting today. Goldman Sachs came out today, and they are thinking, even if the war ends, they think oil's going to stay above $100 for a while. And when I say a while, I'm talking well into 2027. So that's kind of where they're thinking. And part of the reasoning behind that is a lot of the infrastructure. Iran has attacked a lot of infrastructure. Just yesterday, the whole Qatar thing, yes, they did serious damage to a LNG plant. And I heard as well, they also disrupted helium. Apparently, there was a helium in there, and about 40% of the world's helium was coming out of that same facility, and that has now been disrupted. So that could be really, really interesting. Obviously, that means the price of helium can go up. So if a company uses helium as a process, well, that's going to cut into their bottom line. Now, if you're a helium dealer, I guess maybe, it might be good for you. But nonetheless, it is absolutely crazy. It is absolutely crazy. So, I don't know. We will have to see how this all ends. We've also got word that it's really looking like there's going to be boots hitting the ground in Iran. It's looking like it. It's really looking like it. It's going to get messy. I have a feeling it might get messier before it gets better. So we'll have to see how this is going to go. We may have a good buying opportunities for the next month, maybe 2 months, maybe the rest of the year. This may push us into, this could easily, if this goes on for a long time, it could push us into a bear market. It could push us into a recession. Look at the U.S. The U.S. is spending billions of dollars a day on this. So I want to see a resolution. When Donald Trump initially announced this war, he said it would be about a month. Actually, I think he said 4 to 5 weeks. So we are heading into week 4. So let's hope he can wrap this up. I'm not optimistic, but we can still hope. Nonetheless, so the Canadian market absolutely bleeding today. Like I said, even pretty much oil is going to be the only sector you're going to find some positives in, and we'll take a look at that when we get to the heat map. All right. The S&P 500, same story. Also bleeding today. So, just getting back to the TSX for a second. A couple of small little things I did want to point out. We are now in the red on the year to date. So on the year to date, we're currently negative 1.88%. So year to date is now moved into the red today. So, oh boy. So the S&P 500 also in the red, well below the blue line. Today they're down 1.88, so that's a little bit better. We're down 2. So, but the Nasdaq is actually down 2 as well. Same story here in the Nasdaq. I don't even think there's a chance that the Nasdaq is going to get above the blue line for this month. I think March is a write-off. I think for everyone, right across the board, I'm thinking March is a write-off. The Dow Jones, those industrial stocks also down 1.33%, well below the blue line. And I guess the biggest loser of the day, the Russell down 3.45%. So those are all of those little caps. So what can I say? They are definitely down big time. So what can I say? What can I say? All right, looking at our commodities, they're all down. Gold today down 3.33%. Silver, oh boy, 6.94% down. Copper down 2.35 and platinum down 2.56. So definitely seeing a lot of our metals, but this all boils down to oil. So here we have WTI up 4% and Brent up about 4.5%. So Brent currently sitting at $112.47. So if we want a green market, we need oil to fall. We need oil to fall. And this is the thing. We're going to be looking forward to next week. What the heck is Monday going to look like? One problem with Monday is we got a weekend between now and then. Lots of time for escalation with this war. If it escalates, obviously Monday will be another blood bath. Blood bath. There we go. If the weekend is calm, so I'm not saying that there won't be transgressions against each other, but if we don't get any real escalation and it's pretty calm on the weekend and Trump sort of stays off of Truth Social, we could have a green Monday. But that's what it's going to boil down to. And I think by Sunday, we have a show on Sunday, guys. On our Sunday show, we might have a better idea of what it's going to look like. Right now, we don't have a great idea at this point. We really, really don't, unfortunately. So, oh boy. All right, here, let me just, perfect. All right, now, oh boy. Crypto actually, interestingly enough, crypto hasn't fallen as badly. So crypto's kind of flat. If you take a look here, I was going to say Blitcoin. Do you remember when I called it Bitcoin? You guys bugged me about that for a week. Bitcoin down 0.22% and Ethereum just down 0.88. So crypto is down, but I'm going to call it flat. To me, it's within a standard deviation of flat. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that for sure. All right, heading over, guys, to the heat maps. All right, let me take a look here. So Canadian heat map, we've got a lot of red. There is red right across the board. So, oh boy. Let's see here. The banks are suffering. The banks are suffering. Royal Bank 1.22, TD, look at that. They're about 2% down. BMO's down 2.57. Well, this is kind of interesting. Fairfax Financial, they seem to be a little oasis in here. They are up 1.30. All of our gold stocks all down. Like, look at this. Franco-Nevada down 5%. Cameco down 5%. Now, when we look at oil's kind of interesting. Obviously, the price of oil going up, you kind of expect everybody to be up, but we don't have everybody up yet. So what we're looking at is CNQ, Canadian Natural Resources. They are down 2.95%. So that's quite a drop. That's quite a drop. So I'm not sure what exactly caused them to go down. I don't know if it's their ex-dividend day, but their ex-dividend day wouldn't push them down that much. So I'm not sure what's going on with CNQ at the moment. Both railroads are down. Now, here's another small little oasis over here. We've got Alimentation Couche-Tard. They're down, but they're only down about 0.25. Loblaws is actually up. So I guess the war is making everybody hungry. I guess the war is making everyone hungry. Heading into the United States, a lot more red. Tech red right across the board. Look at this. NVIDIA down 3.66. Google down 2.87. Tesla down 3.95%. Oh boy, they might be ready for a swing trade. um, even Eli Lilly and Johnson doesn't look like they're holding up as they had kind of been a de facto. People have been shifting money into them to sort of get a little bit of a hedge. Not anymore, it seems. So Eli Lilly down 1.76, Johnson down 1.03. Heading to crypto. So I'm gonna, you know what? It's a flat day. We'll grab a green coin though. I mean, because technically Bitcoin is still in the red. So we will grab for our crap coin of the day. Actually, here, yeah, let's get rid of the slide. We're gonna grab, like I said, yeah, we're gonna grab a green coin. Let's zip on in. Where do we want to go? Where do we want to go? Oh, there's two of them right here. Let's grab the first one here. Let's see here. Let's open it. Let's see what we got. We have the Guild of Guardians. Okay, well, we could probably use a Guild of Guardians today to protect us from the red market, but they're trying. I don't know what this is. I'm going to assume it's a game, maybe. This sounds to me like it could be a game-related coin, so maybe it does have a function within a game. Is Guild of Guardians a game? I'm not sure. It could be. You know what? Just out of curiosity now, I have to know. Let's just quickly pull up Google. A Guild of Guardians. Let's see, Guild of Guardians code. Oh, it is. Yeah, right here. So it's a game. So there it is. Guild of Guardians is a game. So I do not know, and it's a possibility. Guys, it's a possibility with this one that this, whoops, those are ETFs, all red. This coin could be related to that game. Maybe they use it for inline purchases. That's, that's a possibility. So I don't really know what this is all about, but it's not worth much. It's worth 0.33 of a penny. But if this is a popular game, maybe there's money to be made with this one. It's still a crap coin though, because it's it's one of those coins that you could go into it's like going into a casino. You play the craps table, you lose. That's why I call them crap coins. They're really, really risky. This one may be attached to a game. Maybe that gives it some stability, but I wouldn't take the chance. I think I'm gonna be the guardian of my pocketbook and sort of stay away from this one. So what I will say is this is probably not the one to make money on, but at least, hey, do some research on it. Research the game. See if it's popular. Because, if it's a flash in the pan game that comes along and disappears in a year, well, guess what's going to happen to this? No, it's going to disappear too. There's money to be made in crypto, guys. Just stay away from the little guys. Go to the larger coins. So let me just pull this off here. Go to your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, your XRP, your Solana, your Cardano, and gosh darn it, even the Dogecoin. All right. All right, let's get ourselves back over here on the TSX. It's time to head into the chat. And right out of the gate, Wahipple is in with a gifted sub. So we do have the Financial Express on for the Monday show. So that is the first, that's the first. So first of all, let's get up our evil Monopoly goat. Here we go. So basically the Financial Express, it means if we get 4 supers or gifted subs or anything, or a combination, we add another show. So right now we've got 1 of the 4. So right now we are 1/4 of the way. However, are we only 1/4 of the way? Nope, we're not, because we've got a super chat. John is in. WTF, Canada 5-year bond yield, fixed rates way up. All right, we'll talk about that here in just a second. First of all, let's just very quickly get out our Bay Street goat, and we'll get that on out. So yeah, so the 5-year government bond, it spiked pretty sharply today. So I think it was up roughly 10 to 17 basis points. So somewhere's between 3% and 3.22. I think that's what I remember reading. But that's, yeah, that's pretty interesting. Now, what I've heard is that a lot of the reason that it went up is basically it's being driven up by some of those inflation expectations. So we are, of course, well, with the oil prices going up, we're going to see oil-related inflation. And I mentioned Goldman Sachs earlier, saying that they think oil is going to stay above $100 a barrel well into 2027, that could be really interesting. And that's going to be interesting for a lot of people. The Bank of Canada, the Federal Reserve. Are we going to see rate hikes? Oh boy, that's even the Fed. They've already set the stage. They haven't set the stage for a rate hike yet, but they did say that they only can foresee now one cut for this entire year. And that alone is certainly not helping the market at all. But oh boy, what can I say? Yeah, I'm not super happy with this, but it's definitely inflation related. Well, inflation expectations related. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not really. I'm not happy about it. I guess a secondary cause as well could as well be. We're sort of seeing a little bit of a broader rotation out of cyclicals. So we're talking a stronger USD and metal weakness coming together. That as well may also be aggravating it. But the primary reason, of course, is that inflationary expectation on the oil. And it sounds like even if this war were to end this weekend, it doesn't sound like it sounds like enough damage has been done in the Gulf that, yeah, it's coming. It's coming, guys. Unfortunately, it's coming. I got no good news for you on that front. And I've always told you guys, I'll keep it real. If I tell you that I've got no good news, then it's like, oh crap. Because I don't like the doom and gloom, and you guys know that. But right now, yeah, there's a lot of damage. Like you even take in Qatar, that LNG facility that that got hit pretty hard. They've spent an incredible, they've spent billions and billions and billions building this thing. And this thing, and I remember reading, I think they said that it took about 5 years to get this all together. So depending on how badly this damage is, it's not an easy fix. It sounds like it's not going to be an easy fix, and it sounds like it's going to take years to get this thing back to doing what it was doing before. So it's not good. It's not good. Xenial. All right, now we're at you guys. Xenial in first, saying worst day ever. Not the worst day in the history of the market, though, Xenial, but it's definitely one of the worst days we've seen this year. Oh boy. Isaiah in with an ahoy. We got Samantha saying, good afternoon, everyone. Have we reached the bottom yet, or is there more to come? I would love to lie to you right now and say we were at the bottom, but there could be more to come. And there probably will be more to come. Unfortunately, yes, there's more to come. Niece, a good afternoon and hope you all get a nice weekend. Yeah, guys, do me a favor. After this show ends today, and well, between the end of the show today and the beginning of the show on Sunday, don't think about investing at all. Just enjoy yourself. Have a good weekend. Maybe even stay away from the news. Do something with the family. Play some games. Do something fun. That's what I will say. All right. Brackers says oil piqued my interest. Yeah, oil, absolutely. Now, I will say this, guys. If you are, I know some of you have been stacking some oil ETFs, so XEG, ENCL. now is not the time to be, I don't think now's the time to be taking profits. I don't think. Now, you have to make up your own mind. Now, I will always say, whenever you do take profits, it's never a bad thing, but I think there's more money. I think there's more money to be made, guys. So I'm just going to put that out there that I think we are going to see these things go higher, and there's going to be some opportunity there. I will say one thing: stay away, stay away from inverse oil ETFs, guys. Unless you wanna fund everybody else. But yeah, stay away from them. Doorpat, I am speechless and out of cash. Yikes. Well, luckily you don't need to have a voice to speak in chat. Well, okay, that's dumb, but you know what I mean. Let's see. Brian says, thank you so very much, Trump. He likes being thanked for tanking the stock market once again, down 2.16%. In fairness to Trump, and this is, I think he has been trying to, like yesterday he did come out and he did try to, say, all right, we're going to try to not hit any of Iran's oil infrastructure. We're going to try to, because I think he kind of realizes that he doesn't want what's happening right now. I don't think he wants it. So, in all fairness, he did make an attempt and he told Israel to not do it. But the problem is, I think Iran kind of doesn't care at this point. I think they're like, look, and they claimed early on, they claimed they want to see oil up to $200 a barrel. So are they gonna continue to do that? Probably. Is there going to be any more oil facilities hit? Probably. But I will tell you, I did see a plan. Obviously, it's not gonna, it can't help us right now. But there was some talk. There was a news program I was watching the other day where they were talking about, not on the Iran side, on the, what is it, the Emirates side, building like a little canal to sort of avoid the Strait of Hormuz. You could build a canal going across there the way, and actually here, I wonder if I can show you kind of how that land looks. Let's go to Google Maps. Google Maps. Here we go. All right, guys. This is not Iran. That's Ottawa. All right, let's head over. Here we go. All right. Here we go. So here. All right. So this is where we're talking about right here. They don't really have much. Wait a minute. That's not Hormuz. Yes, it is. I was like, why isn't it labeled? But what the general idea is to have some kind of a canal or something to go through it. Now they showed it on the news. It looked actually a little bit better. It looked easier to see how you could do it to sort of, because here's that choke point. Like, look, this is not a lot of land. It's not a lot of land in here. I mean, sorry, not a lot of water. So this is that whole choke point. So if you built, basically a canal or something like that, then you could sort of get through. You could get through. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. All right. Oh, sorry. I'm in the wrong part of the world. See, now I need my geography. Here we are. I was looking at the picture and I'm like, why does that look so off? I zoomed in on the wrong spot, guys. Because yeah, here it is. So here is the strait. This is the strait right here, guys. Oh boy. If you guys want to rag me for that in the chat, please do, because that was dumb. Yeah, basically a little slice through here. You just build a canal and you can sort of avoid this whole area right in here. So yeah, anyway, what can I say? All right, Scott says, good afternoon, holy banana bread. And Roku, okay, enough already. I've run out of Band-Aids. Let's see, Trump needs to ask AI for a concept of a plan for this ridiculous war. Isaiah, I'm dollar cost averaging all the way down. My hybrid portfolio keeps spitting out distributions, which I use to DCA. All right, Navigil says, good afternoon. I'm 90% in cash since December. I was advised to reduce risk, and I'm waiting for more downside. Well, you're probably going to get some really good deals, Navi. You may do better than all of us because, I think a lot of us have been DCAing on the way down and you're just sort of waiting, but, you know, just pay attention because, if this turns around, you don't want to miss that bottom. Brian, talk of 2 interest rate hikes in the U.S. this year, no cuts. And I've heard other talks. I have heard that there is whispers that could happen, but we're going basically by what Powell had said publicly. Obviously, the whispers haven't been said publicly per se. So, but yeah, it could happen. It could happen, and that's the scary thing, because this oil runs everything. You may think, okay, oil's up. All right, so gas is up. Yeah, and gas is up, so that means it's going to cost more to move things like groceries, goods and services. So you're going to see prices just go up across pretty much everything will go up, except for your wages. Except for your wages. And in many ways, if you if you ever heard that word stagflation, oh boy, that's going to be kind of where we're looking at. So with a stagflation, you got two big key things happening. One, um, you've got inflation going crazy, and two, you got a stagnant economy. So nobody has money, and things are getting more expensive. That creates that, and stagflations are not good. A stagflation is really bad. So that's a real danger with this. It's absolutely a real danger. I hope it doesn't happen. So we are not currently in a stagflation. Well, we could be heading to one, but I don't think we're currently in a stagflation, but it is a huge concern. Lance says, I think our next green month will be May, maybe April if we're lucky. Hopefully it doesn't take that long to correct. That's a good, yeah, you know what? It's hard to say. I think May, I think we have a chance for May. I don't know about April. I really don't know about April. It's going to depend on how quickly, because even though, we may have to learn, if we learn to live with higher oil prices, the market can price that in, and then we can get green months. So it is possible. We got 1 minute to the bell, guys. See, Brian, I bought some CDA and MSTE with my dividends today. I'll just buy whenever I get the dividends. DCA that way, no cash on the side going down. All right, fair enough. I think I got notifications today of dividends. I remember seeing 60 showing up. Lance says, bought some more SVR, XMA, and XETM today. Nice. And Lisa says, I bought some more physical silver. Yeah, well, I mean, silver's down. So, if whether you're a physical collector, an ETF collector, yeah, not a bad thing. The S&P 500 is falling like a rock this afternoon. I thought 200 would have held. Yeah, it hasn't been good. I mean, it hasn't been a good day, guys. Abby, good afternoon, all. Trying to stay calm and DCA. Absolutely. And guys, the market is closed. Welcome to the weekend. Welcome to the weekend. We should hopefully have a little bit of calmness now. Ian says, I'm still up on my portfolio year to date. The stuff I pay to have managed is down 1%. Going to have to pull the trigger on taking over that portfolio next month. Yeah, absolutely. Brian says, yeah, Guild of the Guardian sounds like a game to me as well. Afternoon, love the 45-degree slide, but XEQT at 38.70 and Canoe at 16. Oh my God, Rory, it went down to 16. You should have held out. Oh, Rory, yikes. Yeah, and guys, we are halfway to adding a show for Monday. Wahippo, I am going to check out that game and see what it's about. Hey all here. See my goat? we did have your goat. Wahippo, did you miss your goat? Here, you know what? I will show you your goat. Let me just pull it up here. Yeah. So yeah, Rory had the Monopoly goat. This one right here. So yeah, it has the goats. The goat squad is in the building. All right. Now, let's see. Here we are. We're all going to zero. Sorry. No, not sorry. Trump. Oh, boy. Let's see. I think I might top up my gas tank. Probably not a bad idea. $1.60 now here in Saskatchewan, says Rory. Yikes. I wonder what the most expensive gas is in the country. This I don't know right now. Guys, can anybody beat $1.60? Rory, recession is pretty much a go. It's yeah, it's gonna happen. I mean, it will probably happen. And ironically, I didn't think it would happen this year, but I did not think the U.S. would attack Iran. So, Paul, gonna be a lot of panic selling coming up. And this is the thing, guys. Things will be fine on the other side. Dollar cost average, buy the dip, but don't panic sell. Panic selling is just going to lose you money. It will definitely lose you money. Now, one kind of exception is, let's say, for example, you're holding Scotiabank, and all the banks are just falling. So you could sell Scotiabank, and then then buy back into. You wouldn't buy back into Scotiabank because if you're in your TFSA, that would be a no-no. But you could buy like CIBC if a little bit lower. So you can do little moves like that, but they are risky because obviously if you do that right at the bottom and it turns around, you kind of screwed yourself. If you're a long-term holder, you're best to just let things alone. Just dollar cost average as it goes down, and you'll be fine on the other side. But don't give in to fear, uncertainty. Don't be panic selling. If you do happen to have a stock like a penny stock, that might be a different story, obviously. But if you've got a fundamentally good stock, a blue chip, yeah, you're going to be fine. Or same with ETFs. Like, I wouldn't be panic selling something like VFV, for example, or XEQT. Rory, let's see. Good thing I waited to buy Div. Looks like it will hit 350 at these rates. Nice. Let's see. Have we seen an increase in defense stocks since the war? Well, that's a good question, Shane. Let's go over. You know what? Let's take a look at it. We'll take a look. We'll start with the U.S. Let's go to Palantir, if I can spell it. P-A-L. I think it's an A, or maybe it's not. All right, we'll just go to P-A-L-T-E. So there we are, P-A-L. All right, this here is, and I don't want to go to this one. I just wanted the spelling of it. I was right. All right. Oh, I think I see what I did wrong. All right, there we go. Perfect. This is what I'm looking for, Palantir. I just want the U.S. Palantir. All right, perfect. So this war began basically a month ago. So if you take a look at it, so this here is the 17th. Oh, okay. Yeah, so basically, let's come in here. So this war began, technically the first day of trading would have been here. So it was at 145, so $145.13 when the war began. It's currently at $150.69. So this is Palantir. So Palantir has definitely gone up. On our side, I'm trying to think of what we have. Defense stocks. We have stuff like MDA Space. I mean, because that is technically, they will be involved in space. Now, I don't think they would have went up, but they might have. Let's take a look. Let's look at the last month. Oh, yeah, they did. Look at that. They did too. So right here, right here. This is where they would have entered the month. So they entered the war at 41.96. They're up to 42.98. So we have defensive type stocks have moved up. Absolutely. We have seen some of it for sure. Let's see. Wahipple, yeah, Trump sending 2 ships to Iran. Yeah, and I think the Marines are already on the way. I think I heard something like 20,000 troops. So that's a lot. Rory says, I'm not adding CC garbage if the markets drop 20%. It will be others. Okay, fair enough. Let's see. Mary is in the house and says, hello, all. And guys, Mary is our official captain of the like button. So if you have not yet hit that like button, now's the time. Just give it a good old hit. It pushes this out in the algorithm so more people can see it. It's good for the channel. It's good for the chat. And heck, you know what? If the chat stays busy, it keeps me around longer. So there is that as well. Guys, so we are currently, and I'll take a look. Let's see where we are. I'm just refreshing it on my test box to see. So we're currently sitting at 30 likes. Let's get that to 50. Let's just get that to 50. While you guys are busy hitting the like button, I get to have some coffee. I'm going to mute it here because there's no need for you guys to hear the slurpy noises. Oh gosh, that was so good. I love it. Let's see. You're not in the straight. Go north. I know. I know. I was not in the straight. I zoomed in wrong. Hilarious, though. That's why I was looking. I'm like, wait a minute. What? This is not right. There's something wrong here. The Red Sea. Let's see. You have to go one bay to the west. That point and bend makes tankers an easy target. There we go. My SPYI position actually went into the red today, not counting distributions, reinvested as dividends, and actually averaged down. Scott says you can't easily or quickly build a canal there. Go to satellite view and zoom in. It's all mountains. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, like I don't know that geography. I will absolutely admit that's an area of the world I don't look at very often. But yeah, it was just, they were showing it on a news program, and they just sort of showed where the canal will go. So there might be a place there that you could fit a canal through, maybe through a valley. I'm not sure. So that I don't know, Scott, unfortunately. I was just saying, okay, that's an interesting idea. Why aren't, I would do that, if Iran is still a threat on the other side of this. And, I have no idea what, honestly, Scott, I got no idea what this is going to look like on the other side. Michael says, I've really been trying to get it in my head that these red days are exciting for buying opportunities. Shouldn't be getting me down so much. Yeah, don't, guys, it's so easy when the market is red and things are falling and you're looking at lower numbers. One of the things you always want to make sure is that you realize that what you're seeing is not losses, because they're they're called an unrealized loss. An unrealized loss. So if you leave it alone, if you average down on the other side, holy banana bread. Your profits you'll be very well in the green on the other side of all of this when everything has recovered. So that's a thing. A lot of people who are, very rich when it comes to investing, they're almost never investing when things are up. They're the people who are, investing when the markets are down. They're the ones right now who are just, they're loving it. They're loving it because they're going to make a lot of money. I don't know. I haven't heard any word on Warren Buffett, but at this point, I would say Berkshire probably is looking at how this is going. And maybe and this is kind of a scary thing, if they haven't started spending yet, then they're expecting it to get worse. And I'm kind of expecting it to get worse too. With the challenge, I'm going to DCA all the way down through it. But, I'm just glad this month I still have money for the worst part. Otherwise, yeah. In April, oh boy, I don't know what April's going to look like. All right. Wahibble. Let's see. I'm getting CCPC on Monday. Nice. They're down quite a bit, so I think you're going to like that. Lance, they're also talking about a pipeline to the Red Sea, Gulf of Aden to avoid Strait of Hormuz. Yes. And actually, Nice was talking about that earlier in the week. Yeah, I think that would be a really good way to sort of, and that makes sense. You know what? If you have a choke point, if you can find ways to make it less of a choke point, to me that makes sense. Because even though this is a war, right? There's other things that can happen. There's other things, like if you remember when we had that ship stuck, what was that, a couple years ago? What the heck is that? I can't remember the name of the canal it was stuck in. But it wasn't the Suez. Was it the Suez? Well, anyway, we had a ship stuck, and that caused a whole big disruption. So It's always good. Look at the internet. The internet has redundancies, right? You can take down a whole bunch of lines and it doesn't matter. The information has other ways to get there. That would be a good idea, I think, in this case as well. All right. And yes, guys, we are half of the way there. Dorpat says 168 today in Mississauga. So Dorpat is at 168. That's the gas price to beat, guys. Does anybody have more expensive gas? Rory, XEQT and ACB is higher. Bought it long ago at 36, so still green. Okay, fair enough. Wahipple, I was told gas was over $2 on Vancouver Island. Yikes! So maybe $2 is the number to beat. Let's see. Looks like the MSTE swing will be a hold till next week. Yes, yes, absolutely. And hopefully, I'm hoping it doesn't turn into a longer term hold. But the way the war's been going, it hasn't been the best for swing trading for sure. But we'll see. We'll see what happens in the coming week. Rory, HYLD, bank just holding, not adding. And Brian, oh, look at this. A lot of dividends. You got dividends from QDTE, QQQI, Biggie, QDay, CDay, SDay, Canny, Inty, and Sixy. Yes, I own a lot of ETFs and stocks. Isabel says $1.66 in Calgary. Nice. It's a lot. That's a far cry from $2. So hopefully, oh boy. Let's see. Paul says good afternoon. Brackers is saying gas 162 to 175 in Waterloo. Oh boy. Yeah. Wahipple, buy on the way down and buy one on the way back up. Awesome. Awesome. All right. A Geodude says good time to buy these AI stocks, if anything. Yeah, well, I would agree. I would agree, certainly. Local gas, 213.9 and diesel, 249. Holy banana bread. We have a new winner, Paul, $2.13. 213. Oh, wow. Let's see. Czech News has a video from yesterday. It says 210 letter in Victoria. All right, and got the low of the day on XEQT, though. Nice, gotta like that. All right, Rima says hello, nice to join live. Well, welcome to the show, Rima. I've never seen your name before, so you are brand new. Love it. Glad you found the show. Guys, as Rima is saying hello. Oh, we got another super chat coming in here from Sky with a hi all. And guess what, Sky? You have released my favorite goat. The space goat is now out of the stables. Goat Squad is almost full. We are one away from adding a show to Monday. All right. Let's get back here and let's get back to, I know where I was. I was at the lovely Rima. Here we go. And Ian says, Bank and HYLD plus SPYI are the only things I'm adding to, maybe HHL, or I might start a position in Canoe. Well, you know, Canoe's one of my favorites, that's for sure. Wahipple. It was funny the other day, she muted to drink her coffee and the video feed turned off, but we can still hear the slurping. Yes, that was the first time I tried to do it. I hit the wrong... They're right next to each other. I wasn't paying attention. I clicked the wrong one. And the worst thing is because even when I got my test box over here, because of the delay, because there's a slight delay, like I think it's 15, 20 seconds. I didn't see right away because, you know, by the time I saw it, I'd already finished. The deed had already been done, and you guys were letting me know, of course, right away in chat. Kenneth says Canada should develop and dig the oil sands now, export as much as oil as possible for Canada. Yeah, I would agree, but how are we going to export it? That's that one problem. We don't have a lot in terms of pipelines to do that. But yeah, and here's the interesting thing though. So Danielle Smith has talked about twinning. And so twinning is basically laying a second pipe along another pipe. So at least for the ones going into the U.S., and I know the U.S. says they don't need Canadian oil, but I think they're going to change their tune. sooner than later on that one because I think the world needs oil. So, there's like a lot of pipes heading to the United States coming out of Alberta. So, twinning some of those might be, but then again, even then, here's the problem. It's not like you can just sort of snap your fingers and have a new pipeline there right away. It's kind of it's an interesting thing. It's an interesting thing. It would certainly still take time, but if this shortage goes on for a long time, yeah, absolutely. Wahipple from Closed Even, my best holding of the day. Awesome. Lance. These red days are only frustrating me because I invested my down payment for my house to increase it. I know it will recover and I have more, but I understand Michael's frustration seeing it in the red. Yeah. And that's the thing. So a lot of times if you have something like a down payment for a house and you're thinking, oh, I'm just going to stick it in the stock market for now. Well, you always want to ask yourself, how soon do you need it? What if a 1-year bear market comes along? Or what if a 1.5-year bear market comes on? Can I wait that out? That's always a question you want to ask for that. And I hope, Lance, in your case that, you're not like, it wasn't something you needed it like immediately type thing. But on the other side of this, hopefully, I'm hoping this isn't going to last forever because obviously, I like a good green market. I like a good green market. A monkey says, hello, nice to join live. First time. Thanks for your input ongoing. Hey, welcome, monkey. It's always good to have a new monkey in the house, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Wahipple, I am trying to save up for a jet boat. A jet boat? Okay, why not? Rory, when everything goes back up, here comes the FOMO. Yes. But you see, here's the thing. You want to be buying when things are going down. And if you get really lucky and you manage to grab that bottom, that's always a good time too. But when things start going up, especially if they start going up fast, like a lot of times the FOMO doesn't set in initially. So by the time the FOMO starts hitting people, most of the recovery's already happened. And then people are buying in closer to the top and closer, at least they're buying in on that, on that uphill steep, on the uphill climb, I guess I should call it. All right. Did you ever look at CNC? It's dropping pretty bad. I'm sure it's because of war. CNC, let's take a look. Let's take a look. CNC, here we go. All right. Canada Nickel Company. All right. Let's see. Oh boy, yeah, down to 142. Gonna pull it up. Oh yeah, look at this. Now here's the danger, guys, as well. I always talk about the dangers of penny stocks. So this was a penny stock. It got, things were looking good for nickel, and it's still to me at that point penny adjacent, but they will fall pretty hard sometimes when we have economic stimulus, kind of what we are looking at right now. So yeah, it has definitely fallen a little bit. And I remember, actually, here, let me see if it's still there, guys. There was a news story over here. Let's go to swings. Let's go to IVN. Let's see. Oh yeah, no, that's just apparently Indonesia has a nickel maker sulfur supply. So okay, never mind. It's a sulfur thing, but it's a nickel maker. I was like, I remember seeing something about nickel. So I wanted to just sort of quickly check on that. But yeah, all right. Claudia says, Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway is sitting on a record $382 billion in cash and short-term treasuries, the largest amount ever held by a public company. This figure reported as of February 2026. Yeah, so we don't know if they've been spending in March. But, we will know. We'll probably know in April. But that's the thing. That's kind of what they do. They tend to have a good cash position when the market does fall, and that's one of the reasons why they're so successful. Ian says, oil and gas has outperformed defense stocks by the looks of things. Yeah, oil. Oil and gas is up about 35%. In this war, so that's pretty, yeah. Wahipple, I was blown away. You guys are swinging MSTE. Yeah. It's more of a right now because it's just no, there's just not a lot that I've got that I'm happy with. Like there's not a lot of good positions. So yeah, I've actually this will be the third day in a row, but this one's actually going into Monday. Let's see, 145 still in Edmonton. Oh, that's not bad. Elaine's in the house, and Elaine is seeing red. Uh-oh. I think we all are. We're all seeing red now. Lance, some expert analysis are saying TSX will break below 2,800s and S&P 500 could easily go below 5,600. Both could go below those numbers too. Um, yeah, well, we'll have to see how far down it will go, but there's certainly a lot. I mean, obviously, if we actually go into a bear market, if this pushes us into a bear market, we're going to hit some low numbers, guys. Let's see. Len says, surprised that my ENCC ended a little in the red today. Bought more shares though. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, and I like ENCC, ENCL as well. Obviously, the ENCL is going to move a little bit more because of that 25% leverage. Sky says Space Goat is my favorite too. Yeah, Space Goat is awesome. Space Goat is one I don't think I can ever retire. I like it too much. I like that one too much. All right, and I was about to say that we're one away. However, we got a Gifted Mountain Finance membership coming in here from Lance. Congratulations to the official Samson, which is good. I'm glad it went to the official Samson and not the unofficial Samson because, that guy bugs me. I like the official Samson better. So that, of course, is our fourth, and that also means that we do have another goat. This is our Professor Goat. Our Professor Goat is now in the building. The Goat Squad is full. We have a show on Monday, so thank you once again, Lance. Now, let's get back to where we were, and we were on Lance. Actually, we got past Lance. This Lance. We're on this Lance. There's a lot of Lances. It's all the same Lance, but it's like quantum mechanics. You never know where Lance is until you click on Lance. Okay. Lance says they're saying when it crumbles, it will go fast and hard, especially depending on what happens to oil and private credit in the U.S. So yeah, private credit, yeah, that is of course a big concern in the U.S. And that it's not as big in Canada, I know, but there will be some spillover, a little bit for sure. But the oil is going to be the big one for sure. It's definitely going to be, oh boy, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. TMX should be at full capacity now. And let's see, sounds like bear analysts want to make money on the fear. That's always a possibility. That's always a possibility. And this is the thing. I look at it this way. I mean, investing and what the market does, it is based on probability. And obviously, we get different world events like what's happening now with the war, with the price of oil. What that does is I call those probability modifiers. So when oil goes up and it looks like it's going to push inflation up, obviously we've seen we've seen areas like, well, we were talking about the bonds. John was talking about bonds earlier. That can definitely cause some issues and it can spill over. So with the market itself, yeah, when we get a bunch of negative catalysts, those basically alter that probability. It doesn't mean 100% that, it's doom and gloom. It doesn't mean that the sky is falling. It means that the sky may be lowering a little. And that's fine. And I'm not yet at the point that I'm going to say, yeah, we're 100% going into a bear market. No, I'm saying that the chances of us going into a bear market have significantly increased. And keep in mind, and this is an interesting thing too. I want to kind of be clear. So when I say the word significantly means that it's measurable, really. If I said it, otherwise it would be if it's insignificant. That to me, that means that, okay, it's such a small number, it's really not going to change it. So significant, if you look at like a 5% fall, is that significant? Yeah, of course that's significant. I mean, look at today. Today it fell, 2%. And that's, to me, that's also significant. A 2% fall, yeah, it's significant, at least on the weekly scale. And also, if you look at a bigger scale, 2% may not be as significant. Obviously, to go into a bear market, you're looking 20, 25%. So that's pretty significant for sure. All right. Anyway, just a little bit of significance talk. Lance says, no, I can buy and move whenever. It's just a new experience as a new investor. I know the longer it's read, the better I'll come out on the other side. It's just a crash course on emotional control. Yeah. And that's the biggest thing. That's the number one thing that you want to learn as an investor is you want to learn to control your emotions, because that's where you lose money. If you give in to emotions. So for example, if you're going crazy because the stock market's flying high and you're going crazy buying, you don't have as much room to make money off of that. And in fact, then if the market falls and you're like, oh crap, I just spent all this money and now it's all in the red, it's all falling. I got to get out before I lose everything. And then you've given in to fear and you've sold everything and you've taken a significant loss. There's that word again, significant. So you want to be careful. And I always say this is like when the market's falling, if the company that you have is blue chip, as in it has good fundamentals, they have a moat, they're going to be able to weather, they're not going to go out of business, then you probably don't want to be selling. You really probably don't want to be selling because, you don't want to realize those losses, because once you've realized losses, they become real. They've happened. Whereas if you just, if you just buy some more and you just sit there and you buy a little here, buy a little there of some of the deals, when the market recovers, all of that money comes back up. And then all of a sudden, you're sitting there with a nice green portfolio saying, oh, look how green this is. I never knew a portfolio could be this green. So, they say the grass is always greener on the other side. Yeah, on the other side of, a bear market, for sure. Let's see, Lance says during investing, cover call ETF investing just dropped a video on ENCL. I'm going to watch it after this. Okay, there we go. I think, that's Jordan's channel. Rory, yep, it's a test of the nerves. Fear and greed index is at 13 in the deep red. Oh, I imagine it is. And guys, if you want to be able to see that, we were looking at that yesterday over here on the Blossom. Let's go to markets. So here we are. Yeah, extreme fear. 13.04 right now. So over there on Blossoms. And by the way, guys, since I mentioned Blossom, we do have a contest going over there amongst those of us who are part of the ambassador group. And here's the contest here. It's basically, we're set up into districts. And right now, I'm Blue Whale. So every time someone uses my affiliate code, I get a point. And right now, I am currently sitting in 4th place in my group. So I need a few more. I need to sort of push my way up. A green owl is sitting at number 20. Well, they're sitting at 1 with 25. So if you have not yet tried Blossom, please do me a big solid. I'm going to drop the link in here. So what the heck is Blossom, in case you're curious? Blossom, of course, is where we were just looking at the Fear and Greed Index. It is a social media app. So right here, basically, this is where people are posting. I don't normally look through here personally. I like to go through my notifications. So that way there I can see what the people I follow are posting. So with that in mind, if you do come on over, be sure to follow me. I will follow you right back so that I can see what you're posting. And I always do a quick little look to see if there's anybody. Well, there's Perry from PIverse, but I try to look to see if I can see one of you guys up here in the top little bit. There's Adrian, there's a few other people, but yeah, no, none of you guys have popped up there. You know what? Just a hint, any of you who are on Blossom, if you want your post to get seen on the air, just make a post before the show starts. And when I do this, then it's like, oh, look, here it is. Let's pull it up. So, just a thought. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for checking out Blossom. I can't wait to see what you're going to post. I guess with Blossom, we say, let's start a conversation. There we go. Larry is in the house. Finally got stung by the 2X ETFs account, down 25 this week. 4 million there you go. Lance, look at this. There's a 4 million unsold loss. Obviously, I don't think Larry's going to take the 4 million loss. I think you'll wait this one out. Headed to a shareholders meeting. Yeah, don't tell them about the law. Now you kind of have to. Let's see, short metals. This is red seas. It is. We're definitely in the red seas for sure. It's funny. I almost thought all of my lights in the office, I can turn them all red. I thought about doing that and just having, everything completely red. But then anybody who tuned in would be like, "What the hell is this? Is this like a Satanist channel?" So I was like, "No, I'm not going to do that." All right. Paul says selling Tesla 1/4 in October, 440, and remaining in December, 487. Looks really good now with Tesla at 360. Yeah, and that's why I was saying when I was going through the heat map, I was looking at Tesla and I'm like, ooh, I should take a look again and see what it's going to look like on Monday. And just to sort of point it out, so actually here we go, right in here. So this here, of course, is your Tesla. Oh, I'm liking this. So this here is, of course, this is the CDR. That's why the price is lower, because I normally will trade on the CDR to avoid. I'm just going to pull this here down and see. So it looks like they actually went right. Yeah, oh, they're actually, you know what? They're pretty close. It looks like they're bouncing back up. So this could be a play. This could be a play, because if it holds true to this channel, let me get my marker. If it holds, I don't want the highlighter. I want, sorry, I want the pen. Where is my pen? Oh, there we go, brush. That works. We could see it move back up and then back down, but that could be playable. So I might actually grab some of this Monday. We'll have to see. We'll see. We'll see what happens over the weekend. Obviously, that's the one problem. Even though we have a nice channel going on, a nice descending channel, we're like I said yesterday, we've kind of got a black swan event that's kind of ongoing. So there's black swans are circling. We just don't know when they're going to come down and dip the market. Obviously, they dipped the market today for sure. All right. Chad says, starting to run out of money, dropped 10K in the markets the last 2 weeks and still dropping. Yikes. But, it's going to look good on the other side. And Navi says this year will be a good traders market with lots of volatility. Yeah, this year should be a lot of and that's one of the predictions I did make for this year, that this would be a lot more volatile than last year. And that part has held up true. I did not predict a war, though. I certainly did not predict a roar. I was saying war, and I was looking at Rory's name, so that it came out roar instead of war. Rory says over 100K in GICs for me. They'll stay there. Nice. Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully you got some good rates there. Chad wants to know what bank and percentage. Let's see. Next week I might throw in another 1,000. How long locked in two? All right. Chad, the local credit union at 3.25. Well, that's not bad. All right. Elaine says, I got some HHS today, but kept some cash to see how much is going down next week. Probably smart move. Not Connexus. All right. Nope. And, we're slowly getting caught up here because I just saw my Blossom post. Chad, Rory, how long locked in at that rate? Let's see. Lavender Fox sounds like an international jewel thief. I know, don't they? So that's kind of funny. It's like I wish they would have let us pick our own animals, because I would have been like, what would if I could have picked? Well, if I could have picked, I would have just been, a ginger cat. There we go. That's what I would have picked. Rory, Chad, I started them at around at 575. Now they've dropped to 325 due to interest rate cuts. Okay, sounds fair. Let's see. All right, there we go. I'm just going to skip past you guys talking about rates. Russell has entered correction stage. Yeah, Russell is definitely, and here, let me just pull this up here again. Let's head on back over. So here's our Russell rate now. So Russell, whoops. let's, there we go. Let's just get rid of, whoops. Let's get rid of all of that. Bang. There we go. Yeah, I mean, look, at least, well, this is bright. At least we got a little bit of, we got a couple of red candles at the very end of the day, but yeah, Russell is certainly, it looks kind of, well, it's hard to say. I mean, when you look at them, like, you look at it over the last little area here, it's not that bad down yet. It's still not that, I don't know. I don't know if I would say correction stage, but it certainly feels like it though. Chad says, ouchie, 4 years. Oh, that's all more of that interest rate stuff. Okay. I'm jumping. Oh my gosh, guys, you guys had like a quite literally. Um, oh, okay, and that's the end of it. It's just like that was the rest of the chat. All right, cool enough. Oh, guys, we have not checked to see if you guys got to the 50 likes. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm just going to refresh the test box. While I do that, I'm going to have a little bit of coffee. So let me put on the anti-slurping device. Whew, very good. Holy banana bread, guys. We only got to 37 likes. How does that happen? I think it's like guys are like, you're saying, this market's too red. You're not getting my thumb. Nope, not until you give me a green market. Let's hope we have a green market on a Monday. But guys, don't be surprised if Mary pops up again, because yeah, that is pretty that is pretty low. All right, now Rory talking about EIT. Now, let's head over, guys. So if you've been waiting to get yourself some canoe, your wait may be it may mostly be over. So canoe today. Well, heck, look before. I mean, a little bit of rebound at the end, but look at this. Right down here, they had a low of 1595. So it's been a while since Canoe's been down there. You have to, well, yeah, I mean, well, not that long ago. Let's pull this up here. Yeah, so pretty much around the beginning of the year, back towards January. But nonetheless, Canoe is I love Canoe. Canoe is pretty darn reliable for sure. So anyway, Rory, at least, you know what, 16, you said 16.15, I think. That's not bad either. Excuse me. Chad says, let's see, I bought high, so lowering my buy-in price. What are you getting out of your MSTE at? Good question. I'm not really, I look at it this way. So with the MSTE swing trade that I'm making, I'm not really super concerned about like a ton of profits. Like today, quite literally, at the end of today, if I had been in the green, I probably would have just taken whatever I had and looked to see what's happening. So it's more or less what I'm trying to do with it is, and this is the way I think I'm going to handle it, Tom, is that once I move it into the green, I'm probably going to just stop loss my way to wherever it goes. That's what I wanted. That's what I think I'm going to do. And obviously, if I get too aggressive with the stop losses, they can get hit. But I'll probably try to be a little bit less aggressive on this one just to see what happens. Steve says, I entered the stock market 7 months ago to the day. At the close today, I have the same amount I had when I started. Yeah, that happens though, Steve. It is a normal part of the market. And you're kind of that target audience right now. When I say, you don't want to get all freaked out because the market is having, like I'll give you an example. A lot of people got into the market back at the beginning of the last bear market because there was absolute mania going on. You had Bitcoin going to an all-time high. You had just everybody buying every stock. You could pretty much stand with a dartboard and you could throw darts at a stock, at any stock, and it would go up. It would pretty much go up. So, it's kind of an interesting thing. It's kind of an interesting thing. Of course, then very quickly, we went into a bear market. Things crashed. And because of that, and here, you know what? The best way? Let's just do it. We'll do it with Bitcoin. Let's just do it with Bitcoin. Let me pull up Give me a second here. Let's go to Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin's a fun way to sort of look at this, because it's just easy to see the whole principle. All right, we're on the 1 hour. We're gonna go to the we'll go to the 1 day. There we go. We're going to the 1 day. All right, let's bring we'll bring Bitcoin in. We're gonna. All right. Here we go. Give me a second here. Oh, come on, go away. There we go. There we go. I want to go on to a. All right, now let's shrink this in a bit more. All right, come on, Bitcoin. Where are you? Show me the rest. Holy banana bread. Now, you can see, well, anyway, yeah, this here is this is the current one right here. And this here is 23. There we go. There's 26. So yeah, 26. Oh, okay. All right. I see what's happening. I see what's happening here. All right. Let's go. Perfect. All right. Yeah. This is what I'm looking for. All right. Great. I'm going to try to expand this a bit so you can sort of get a better idea. All right. That's. All right. This here is what I'm looking at right here. Give me a sec. Holy banana bread. I'm going to flatten this a bit. Yeah, this is what I'm looking at. All right. All right. Anyway, we'll look at it from here. This is kind of this thing. So as you notice here, going into this is a crypto winter. So and you'll see these are just your typical crypto winners. Like, look at this. Oh boy, this is a bad one. This is basically this here is 2020. So this is going into 2020. So we're going back to 2019 for this one, just because it's nice and easy and it demonstrates what I'm looking at on the screen. So if you look here, and I'm going to just open this up a little bit. There we go. I'm so used to looking at this in smaller time frames, but you'll notice here that if you had gotten involved in Bitcoin back in, well, let's not even use dates. Let's just say here. If you had gotten involved and there was obviously a lot of mania going on, people, watching Bitcoin go up, watching all-time highs, all of this. Well, this here technically wasn't an all-time high, but watching it go up, people get in, and then all of a sudden you start to go into a crypto winter. So what ends up happening is a lot of these people who got introduced to this asset around here, when it goes into that winter, holy banana bread, what are they doing? Obviously, they're probably selling. So there's going to be people who bought Bitcoin up here at about $60,000, and next thing you know, we got it wicking down here to like almost, did it wick all the way down to 9,000? Yeah, it broke. It almost made it down to 8,000. So imagine if you're that person who bought it up here, freaked out when it got to this point, and you sold it. You sold it. Holy banana bread. Well, then all of a sudden, next thing you know, we're moving back up, and we're up at 65, 68. And I mean, if you keep moving forward from that point, I mean, look at this. This is where we're at right now. But this is weird. This is a really weird. Why does. Oh, all right. I'm looking at this, guys. All right. No wonder. I'm on WTI. I'm looking at it. I'm like, this doesn't look right. Holy banana bread. All right. All right. There we go. This is better. Oh my God. I can't believe it. All right. Yeah, this is what I was looking. This is what I'm. Is it a Friday? Do I get a day off tomorrow? All right, perfect. Now I'm looking at this and I'm like, what the heck? All right, now it makes sense. It's making sense. I'm like, wait a minute. What the heck's going on? I'm trying to figure it out as I was going. All right, this makes a lot more sense. So look at this here, guys. So this here is coming out of a crypto market, and yeah, like I said around 8,000 or so. That's why I was thinking like, well, that kind of jived. But here's this big build up. People were excited about Bitcoin, and some of the same people. Here's the funny thing. So we're coming. This is during the pandemic. We come up, we do a double top. Basically, we came up, and then there was a big crash. Unfortunately, there was people in here who bought in here when everything was exciting, and then they sold in here. And then it turned around and went back up. And guess what? Those people who were excited here and sold it in here, they're all of a sudden buying it as it comes back up. And then we go into a really big one. And this here was the last crypto winter here. A lot of people sold, bought up here, sold down here, and look at what happened. It didn't take very long for it to turn around, and all of a sudden, now we're up to where we are now. When you got a couple of all-time highs here again, and now we're coming back down, and hopefully this is going to turn around. I would like to make one more ride back up before we go into a crypto winter, and and it's interesting. I've actually heard somebody say that they think crypto winter might be around here, but I am actually thinking, let me just see here. I'm thinking right about here-ish is going to be crypto winter this time. That's what I kind of been predicting, but it's hard to say. We've got, like I said, with a war, anything is possible now. Black swan events. All right. Let's take a look and see what we got here. All right, let's see. Chad, you got $10 MSTY today. So yeah, 1615. I don't think there will be a peace treaty until the USA fails to take the strait. And that's gonna be costly, especially if they send ground troops in. Steve says, now I'm going to start losing my own money. Let's see. You only lose if you sell. Diamond hands. Good old diamond hands. Yep. CN Rail pays next week, and CYH. I prefer CPKC through better management. But there you go. All right. Canary in a coal mine. Railroads seem to know what's going to happen before it does, like radar from MASH. Oh, there we are. Yeah, I kind of remember that. Bought my first 300 shares of HHIS today. I will buy more next week if this drop continues. Steve says I'm only up on HHIC and VDY, not including divs. All right, with oil prices going up, is it not better to ship by trains? Well, trains is one of the easiest way to ship. So, and I think, and I'm looking at this question, I don't know if you mean ship oil by train. So that is an option, but there's been some issues with shipping. There was a big derailment at one point. I can't remember the exact year, and I can't remember what community. I think it was in Quebec. But it was in the middle of a town, and it caused a lot of issues for sure. So I would say, yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun if we go that route. If you go that route, though, I mean, obviously make sure do every safety precaution for sure. Because I think the one that happened in Quebec, I think it actually rolled backwards while the driver wasn't in it, if I remember correctly. So there was, it almost sounds like there was maybe perhaps a little bit of negligence in there. But Rory, Adriano from PII might get some hate now if cover calls really tank. Possibly, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And that is true. I mean, a lot of times, like if you're new to covered calls, all of a sudden when you go into a bear market and you watch that NAV drop, the net asset value, yeah, it can be, for new people, they're like, wait a minute, this has been working all perfect. I love everything. Now what's happening? This is crap. Yeah, there's going to be some of that. There will definitely be some of that. I think anybody in that space is probably going to get a little bit of heat in the comments. I expect to get some heat in the comments. I'm okay with it. I'll defend my position. I have no problems with that. VDY up 50% over 4 years, dripping it as always. Nice. VDY is a pretty good. I got to turn off the Financial Express. Let's see here. Timers, Financial Express off. There we go. Canada has to ship oil by trains thanks to years of red tape on the pipelines. Yeah, I mean, we still do ship quite a bit by trains, but I'm just saying there's people are. I don't know. Maybe it's just Quebec who's still a little bit leery of it. Chad, not a fan of cover call. Might as well, but 100 and write your own calls. Let's get shipped on trains, especially harsh chemical. Lots get shipped. Yeah, they do. Let's see. I'll top up ZDV or XDIV at some point. All right. Don't hold any of that. Let's see. I still expect the Twitter crypto repayment thing to reschedule. Let's see. Just regular BMO and iShares ETFs that pay around 3 to 4%. TA. S&P 500 now trading below 200-day moving average. Last time this happened, around April 2025 during the tariff announcement. It took several months for the market to recover. Yeah, and that's the thing, though. The oil aspect of this, the inflation aspect from oil, it's, like I said, Goldman Sachs. They came out with Goldman. I always say Golden, but Goldman Sachs came out with a statement today saying that they think that the oil-induced inflation is going to run into 2027. So, it could be very interesting to see how the market is going to look on the long term. I think right now there's still I still think that we can recover if this ends quickly, and if we get to a point where, we kind of the war becomes background noise more than more than a dominating news story. All right, let's see, Rory, Lake Magentic, Quebec one-person train. You need 2 people. Just ask how I know. I don't know if I want to ask. But what can I say? Chad. Yeah, but like the top 10 holding our 10 TEC stock, like 40% in VFV or VOO. All right. Oh, and we got ourselves a super chat. Holy banana bread. Oh, it just came in. I was like, how did I miss this? John, $2 super chat, and we'll get to your question here in a moment. But that does unlock our final goat. We have one last goat. This is our holiday goat. We got Easter coming up, so we have an Easter-themed goat. Here we go. Let's do this. Oh boy! And this one, I think this one has music too. So what can I say? Awesome goat stuff. Awesome goat stuff. All right. Thank you very much, John. Okay. Has your view of Carney changed since the election? Great question. I'm cautious. And here's a couple of things. I was definitely not a fan of Trudeau. I was very glad to see Trudeau go. I liked if we were going to bring somebody in to run the Liberal Party, obviously somebody who leans a little more right, I thought was a good choice. So I think he was a good choice from what they had. He was a good choice, and he won the election. So there is that. But I think and sometimes I wonder this: did he win the election, or did Poilievre lose the election? That's one of those things. I think Poilievre made some crucial mistakes in that last election. One of them is that he didn't pivot to the tariffs. He's doing that now, but during the election, he kind of ignored the whole Donald Trump and tariffs. He 51st state, all of that. He ignored it. He ignored it, and that I think certainly hurt him. Now, but that's not the question. So Carney came in, had a lot of plans, and in a way, a lot of the initial things he did, he basically, and this is another area, he kind of stole a lot of the conservative platform. It's like, all right, we're going to get rid of the carbon tax, and we're going to do this and that. So he did pivot. He pivoted a bit more to the right, and I like that. I like that a lot. I love the idea of, the talk. I love the talk, as in I love the idea of putting that money into infrastructure. I love the idea of an oil pipe. And we already talked yesterday that I really don't think he's going to follow through on that oil pipe. To me, it's important that he follows through on some of these things. He's got to do something. If you just talk the talk, but you don't walk the walk, I'll lose faith in your leadership right away. And it's looking like right now that we are probably going to have a majority. It sounds like it because there's a couple of by-elections and we keep getting floor crossers. So we probably won't have an early election. And I kind of said, you know what? I know a couple of weeks ago, or even a couple of months ago, a lot of you were saying, "Oh, we're going to get a spring election. We're going to get a spring election." Now I really don't think we will. And honestly, I think it would be a bad move for Carney to have an election. Yes, they could get more seats, maybe. It's hard to say, but they think. I mean, the polls indicate that they might get more seats. I don't think it's a good idea because I think it would annoy Canadians that when we've got all of this financial issues going on, that elections don't cost. They're not free. They cost money. So I think there's better places that money could be spent. But yeah, so when it comes to Carney, has my opinion fallen? It's shakier. It's shakier than it was, only because I'm still waiting to see the walk. So let's walk the walk, Carney. Let's walk the walk. Let's see what you can do. Right now, if there was an election held today, um, I don't know. I don't know. And this is the thing. I always kind of base my vote on whose platform really resonates with me the most. I have voted for in the past. I have voted at one point for every party, but I would say the Conservatives have probably received my vote more than any other to date. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But yeah, right now I will say I want to see some action from Carney. That's kind of where I'm at. I can't say I'm going to give him forever, before I form an opinion, but I want to see something. I want to see something. Let's see some stuff, obviously. All right. Lauro says, how much in your account? Oh, good question. Good question. Ah, I'm not going if you are a channel member, I'll say this. Let me just go back to this question. So obviously you can see what I've got in the 0 to 100K challenge. That gives you a general idea of that. Then the rest of my money is tied up in swing trading. So, if you're a channel member, you could probably kind of, if you did the math, you can kind of figure it out because I do share the swing trades with them, and sometimes I have mentioned it's like, yeah, I'm kind of don't have any more resources. I've got everything locked up in trading. So when that happens, if you were to just sort of mentally calculate it, you'll get a ballpark figure. I don't even know what the ballpark figure is. I don't really I don't keep track of it that much, to be honest. Rory, let's see. Bets Monday will be minus 600. There's that chance. There's that chance. I think the way Monday will be is, like I said, if nothing happens over the weekend, if we got no escalations, no rhetoric on Truth Social, I think we could see a green day. But if, if it continues and we get more rhetoric, and if any other oil facilities get hit, then you're probably looking at another red day. All right, whoops, already did that one. Elbows up. There we go. Glad Pierre finally went on Joe Rogan. Yeah, 2 hours. I haven't listened to the whole thing. I've listened to some clips. But yeah, that's a long one for sure. But at least it gives people a chance to sort of get the unpolished version of Pierre, because obviously in 2 hours you're going to have to be a little bit more down to earth type thing in a conversation. Samantha, that Joe Rogan podcast with Pierre was good. Showed a different side of him there. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I was saying. Chad thought it was a good podcast. Navi says Trump will say something positive over the weekend for the bounce. He might. He might. He does like to do that. He doesn't like the market being down. So there is that possibility. Chad, majority Liberals, Canada will be doomed. I'll sell my portfolio and go all in on Brookfield. Oh no, Chad. Pierre went to high school in Calgary, and I met a teacher who taught him in high school. She said he was very smart and told her he will be PM in the future. Okay, well, he almost got there. He'll have another shot at it. Pierre went to high school in Calgary, and oh, wait a minute, that's the same thing. The same one, guys, the same one. All right, everybody. This has been a really good. Stream today. China surrounding Taiwan might do something. Yes, and there have been a lot of interesting movements there. And I mentioned before they had this weird thing with fishing boats creating lines in the water. I'm like, what the heck is that about? So I think China is just biding their time. I think they are, but I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Technical recession on possible Q1 data, Q4 already negative. That is a possibility. That is a possibility. So I know the last estimate was that Q1 would be slightly to the positive, but we'll see. We'll see. Obviously, a lot can happen. And it could even be a situation where Q1 could come out very close to baseline and could be like just a little positive, but the revision could push it back down. So it is possible, John. I think Q2 will be in the red, and I think Q3, if things keep going the way they are right now, Q2 and Q3 will definitely be in the red. But you got to look at you kind of have to look that Q1, you got two kind of okay months, and the market did really well, but obviously this is the economy, not so much the market. Then you've got one bad month in there. So we might, it's hard to say. I have not heard Stats Canada sort of hint at any of that data yet. So I'm going to be very interesting to see that, John. And maybe, because you know what, the more I think about it, I think when they had predicted that it was going to be slightly into the green, that did, I don't know if that accounted for a war popping in. So, it is possible. It is possible. Now, if we go into a technical recession, the government still may not call it. There is a body that actually makes the call on it. So they do take other things into consideration. But I look at it this way. If it's a technical recession, then it's pretty much a recession in my books. All right, let's see. That's why the TSM dropped today. All right, there we go. Okay, guys, let's get the weekend going. It is, we've been here for an hour, 33 minutes. I will be back here again on Sunday. We've got our long show. Actually, our Sunday show is the long one. That's our 2.5-hour show. We will also be back on Monday with another market close. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. But we will be back. Like I said, we'll be back on Monday. You guys were fantastic. I have a couple of things I did want to say to you guys before I leave. And that is, well, bye-bye.